Good morning, year one and year two. Welcome to your Friday reading lesson. It is the last day of the week. I hope you are all looking forward to a lovely sunny weekend. I know I am. So let's get on with our reading lesson. All right. So today is the 16th of July, 2021, and it's our last day of our skill to retrieve information. All right. So by now we know that to retrieve information means to find key information in the text. So we have to underline key information in the question, scan the text to look for the names, dates, and times, and finally look at how much information the question needs. Now, our starter today is not going to be phonics. It's going to be applying our phonics to read a short paragraph. All right. Now, this paragraph is called Fish and Chips. And I want you to see and time yourselves to see how long it takes you to read this paragraph. It should take you about 1 to 2 minutes to read all of these words. Okay. So if you have a timer or a watch with you, or you have someone that can time you, get them to see how long it takes you to read this. But remember to use your sounds, use your phonics, and use that to help you. All right? So if you would like to challenge yourselves and go ahead and do that right now, you can pause the screen and have a go. If not, we can read it together. Okay? So we have j, a, n, Jan, and d, a, n, Jan, and Dan, eat, meet, year, near, the. Ooh, this was one of our words from before. Ch, ch, church. So now that I've read it using my phonics and using my tricky words, using my common exception words, I'm going to read it again without my blending. Jan and Dan meet near the church. They. Now I know I'm underlining it because these are one of our common exception words or our tricky words. We should not be blending these. We should be saying them. Okay? They get a bus to the fish and chip shop. They get a bus to the fish and chip shop. Nan will join them too. Nan will join them too. I'm going to read it again. Jan and Dan meet near the church. They get a bus to the fish and chip shop. Nan will join them too. Now I know this word already. I know it's Jan because I've read it up here. Jan gets cod and chips in a dish. Jan gets cod and chips in a dish. I've read this one. That's Dan. I've read this word up here. It's exactly the same, which is gets. I've read this word as well. It's chips. Dan gets chips and a fork. And then we've got Nan gets again, gets eel and chips. Okay, so the reason I'm not blending these words is because I've already blended them up here and they're exactly the same word. So I should know, ooh, that says chips now. And then they all go to the park. All right, so one more time, I'm going to read it without any blending. Jan and Dan meet near the church. They get a bus to the fish and chip shop. You can repeat after me if you want to. Nan will join them too. Jan gets cod and chips in a dish. Dan gets chips and a fork. Nan gets eel and chips. Then they all go to the park. All right, so that should take us about 1 to 2 minutes to read. All right, let's finish off with the rest of our story. We left off with Mrs. Fox asking for some ducks for dinner. So Mr. Fox went out to fetch some, and little did he know that there were some farmers there waiting to catch him. All right. So let's see if the farmers get him. So Mr. Fox was there. He inched forward a little more. The front half of his body was now in the open. His black nose twitched from side to side, sniffing and sniffing for the scent of danger. So he's smelling for the farmers, but we know that the farmers are standing away from the wind. He found none, and he was just about to go trotting forward into the wood when he heard, or thought he heard, a tiny noise, a soft rustling sound, as though someone had moved a foot ever so gently through a patch of dry leaves. Okay, so he thinks he's heard a sound. Mr. Fox flattened his body against the ground and lay very still. His ears pricked, so his ears are up. Okay, he's listening. He waited a long time, but he heard nothing more. It must have been a field mouse, he told himself, or some other small animal. So we know it was probably one of the farmers, but Mr. Fox does not know this. He thought it was a field mouse. He crept a little further out of the hole, then further still. He was almost right out in the open now. He took a last careful look round. The wood was murky and very still. Somewhere in the sky, the moon was shining. So in the sky, there is a moon shining. So that gives you a little bit of light. Just then, his sharp night eyes caught a glint. Now, a glint is a little shine. They caught a glint, a shine of something bright behind a tree not far away. It was a small silver speck of moonlight shining on a polished surface. Now, you and I know it's the gun, but I don't think Mr. Fox knows that. Mr. Fox lay still, watching it. What on earth was it? Now it was moving. It was coming up and up. Great heavens! It was the barrel of a gun. Quick as a whip, Mr. Fox jumped back into his hole, and at that same instant, the entire wood seemed to explode around him. Bang, 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 bang. So that's three guns firing three shots. So that's the farmers. Okay, they fired three guns, three shots. The smoke from the three guns floated upward in the night air. Oh dear. Bogus and Buns and Bean came out from behind their trees and walked towards the hole. Did we get him? Said Bean. One of them shone a flashlight on the hole, and there on the ground, in the circle of light, half in and half out of the hole, lay the poor, tattered, blood-stained remains of a fox's tail. Bean picked it up. We got the tail, but we missed the fox, he said, tossing the thing away. So that's pretty good news. They never got the fox in the end, did they? They only got the fox's tail. They shone the flashlight on there, but all they could see was the fox's tail, which means Mr. Fox got away, which is good news. And Bean picked up the tail and said, we got the tail, but we missed the fox. So really good news there that Mr. Fox got away, because we did not want those nasty farmers to be able to shoot him. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the reading lesson for this week. You've only got 5 questions to answer again, 5 retrieval questions, all right? Which means we have to find the information from the text. So when you're doing your questions, go back and see if you can find the answer in the video when we read it together, okay? So the first one is, what did Mr. Fox think the noise was? Okay, now we knew that the farmers were out there. When Mr. Fox had pricked his ears and he was listening, he thought it was some other type of animal. What did he think that noise was? Number 2, what was shining in the sky? So there was something in the sky that gave it a lot of light. Number 3, True or false? So now true means, yep, that's correct. False means, nope, that's wrong. True or false? 3 guns were fired. Number 4, what did the farmers shine on the ground? So you're looking for what the farmers shone on the ground. They had something, they shone it on the ground. And number 5, who picked up the tail? Which farmer picked up the tail of the fox? All right. And when you are done those 5 questions, you can write down the answers and upload a picture to Teams, or you can type it straight into Teams, okay? Because it will be there for you. And that will bring us to the end of your reading lesson. So well done, year 1 and year 2, for making it through this week's reading lessons.